Whatever industry you're in, and no matter what your calling in life is, one thing is for sure. We're all in pursuit of success and fulfillment. However, in our determination to reach those goals, sometimes we forget a very important thing, and that is we don't always have to be doing it alone. I'm Siege Tantenko, and welcome to our Rappler Roundtable with our partner, Sun Life Financial. And speaking of partnerships, that's exactly what we'll be talking about today. We are joined by our wonderful panel of guests who each have great partnerships. We're here with Ariane Serafico, a blogger, and she teaches, and she all around package. Her financial advisor, Agnes Quaso. We also have sisters, businesswomen, and bloggers, Bernice and Vern and Cisa.
Hello.
Ladies, thank you very much for being with us here today. Syempre, you guys are partners and kind of tend to think of partnerships in the romantic context, but that doesn't have to be the case. For you, what does it mean to have a partner? And what is a partner to you, Ariane?
For me, a partner is someone that you grow with. And I always think about it in the context of goals. Like, para sa akin, a partner is someone who you could either share goals with, like marking shared goals, or someone who knows your real goals, hindi lang yung gusto mo talagang marating sa buhay, and then helps you get to that. And syempre, with that comes with, you have to have honest conversations with this person. You need to be, this is someone you can be real with. And hindi lang yung pakitang tao. Like, you can really say, this is what I want to do with my life, and I hope
No
that
filter.
you can, yes, and I hope you can help me get there. Yeah.
What about you, Agnes?
For me, a partner is someone you can trust, someone who makes you feel secure, you can be comfortable with and honest, and then someone who encourages you and inspires you and pushes you to be better.
Sige, we'll talk about your own partnership later. Let's go to Bernice and Vern. What does a partnership mean
I
to you?
think partnership for me is someone you go through life with. May it be good, may it be bad. He's like a helping hand whenever any time like this happens. Especially like with my sister. I'm happy that it's my sister and my best friend rolled into one.
Yeah, it's so hard to be the last. They said everything. But I agree with everything that they said. But I think a partner, apart from what they said, of course, is someone who teaches you a thing or two about and helps you honestly know the things that you don't. So
We are feeling the connection here, but just to make it, confirm it, who's your life partner?
My life, it's so cheesy.
it's
Not
so
her.
it's
so
her.
cheesy, but it's true.
Yeah,
Like we
it's
always
joke that my sister and I, boys are just like on the side. It's really each other that we have.
That's the true love, right? Awesome. What about you guys? Who's your life partner?
As I said earlier, though, parang I view it in the context of goals. So for each of my goals, I have different life partners. And syempre for my finances, I have my financial advisor, my life partner, which is Agnes. We've been together since 2015, yeah.
And a lot has changed in your life since then.
Yeah.
Tell us about where you were in your financial journey in 2015 versus where you are now with the help of Agnes.
When I first decided that I wanted to invest, I think I was coming off a period in my life where I was just really almost living paycheck to paycheck because I didn't really think about how I was spending my money. Just because it was there, I would always spend it. Kapag may sale, you would spend it. Parang, I have this much in my bank account. Sige, I'll spend. But entering 2015, I think that was the point. I think it was like a transition into more independence na parang, okay, I have all these goals. Like I was starting to think more long term, which I think when you're a bit younger, it's a bit more short term, the way you think about life. But when I turned 26, I don't know what happened, but that was the time when I started thinking, okay, long term, what do I want to do with my life? And then I realized all my goals, no matter what it is, it always has a financial component. So I started thinking, okay, what do I need to do to make sure lang that I'm stable in terms of my finances, I'm smart about it. And then that's when I started looking for a financial advisor. And I did my research. I was very intentional about it. Talagang nag-message ako ng maraming friends and I was like, how's your relationship with your financial advisor? Ganyan, and do you like her? Ganyan. And a lot of people were saying na, for most of my friends at least, their financial advisors came from referrals from their parents. And so they didn't really have a good, or like if anything, it was like a distant relationship with their financial advisor. So I was like, okay, here are my criteria. I need to find someone who is around my age, not so much older, because I wanted her examples and the way she talked to me to be something more relatable. And then also I wanted someone who was articulate and could explain to me the financial terms in very simple, like dummy-friendly terms. Kasi nga wala akong alam at that point. Eh. So, and then someone who was patient and kind. So I messaged my friend, and sakto she was working in Sun Life then as a marketing person. And she's like, I have the perfect person for you. Here is her interview in ANC. And then she gave me the link. And ang galing kasi nung pag-explain ni Agnes in that interview that I was like, okay, siya na yan. So yun, that's how I found her. Like, it was really a very intentional process of finding the right person for me.
So you didn't have to go through the trial and error that some people have to.
No. Oh, and another thing pala, and I feel like this will help for a lot of people who are thinking of getting a financial advisor, because I was so intimidated by the whole process of getting an advisor. Parang ako, okay, how do I make this a lot? Kasi pag one-on-one, parang I just felt na baka mapilitan ako, mahiya ako at the end of our conversation na, ay, hindi pala ako kukuha. So, okay, parang natin ito gagawin. So what I did was I said to my friends at work, I'm bringing this financial advisor to meet with me, pero sana we can do it as a group. So, since dito wala pang life insurance, so everyone who raised their hands, yun, I just got snacks for us, and then it was like an after work, very casual thing. Then Agnes came and presented everything, and I feel like being in a group environment made it a lot more friendlier, and hindi yung parang napilitan lang ako. And it was good peer influence also, because we, as friends, we were like, oh no, kuha na tayo, ganyan. So,
And I know your friends.
Yeah.
So, her friends at the time, they were all working together.
yeah.
Now they have babies, the business
Yes.
is growing. You have these needs that will pop up. So you really
Yeah.
have to be planning for that future.
Yes.
And for you, Agnes, what do you think people should look for when they're planning for their financial goals? How do they know they're getting a right or a trustworthy financial advisor?
Okay, so I suggest like what Aryan did. You schedule a meeting with the advisor, and you could also bring a friend, so it won't be as intimidating. And then ask questions. And then you check how they answer it. And then you feel if you can trust this person, because that's very important. Because it's a lifetime partnership. You will be experiencing milestones with this person, if ever. So you have to like and trust this person. And then communication also is very important. How you get in touch with that person, I think. And then one more thing, the person should listen to you. Like, they don't have to give you a proposal right away. So they should do a financial needs analysis first, because some already have proposals in hand, and then you just choose. Sadly, but financial needs analysis is very important to align your goals with the budget and then the timeline of that person.
So it's very personal. It has to be a
Yes,
personal experience, right? And speaking of personal partnerships, that's exactly what you guys have. Because you're not just sisters, you built your entire careers together. You attend your events together. And of course, you have Vivi and Co., which is your fragrance line.
Yes, our baby.
Yeah, your baby.
Yeah, so maybe like just a little background story. 10 years ago,
Yeah,
she's
that's
actually
when
the
I
one who started first the blog. And 10 years ago also, we didn't have this kind of bond at all. Like, we were sisters, but we weren't friends.
That's exactly how you could describe the both of us. Like, I was even so sad, or I was a bit bitter, because I felt like our worlds are so far apart that when she wanted to get into what I was doing, it was more like, because we were also young, a lot younger back then. She was only 15, I was only 16. So the competition between the sisters was just like, why are you gonna do what I'm gonna do? You
Stay
like
on your side.
Because back then she was ice skating and she would compete. So I didn't do that. So I was like, I gave you your time to shine, my turn. But then like after a year, I think of her doing it, that's when we started to, and we were forced to go to events together. We were forced to travel together. That's when we actually knew each other as friends. And we're always so thankful that we had a blog, because if not, we won't have the relationship that we have now.
And now you have the business.
Yeah.
So how did you make that jump from going to, sharing a blog to running a business, which is significantly, that's a scary thing to get into.
Of course, like I actually I have a business with a couple of friends, but as I went through that, I wanted to build something of my own, and I was really thinking, who is the perfect person to build something with? Because of course, it's any girl's dream to have a brand under their names, or anyone's, I think. And the person that really came to mind that's best is Vernice, and I think it's because of our differences and our similarities, like because we're so different.
Like my weaknesses are her strengths and vice versa. So I guess it helped us really grow together.
Yeah, so it was perfect. It just made sense that I needed to be business partners with someone who can do what I can't do, and what I can do what she can't do. So.
Could you tell us, like, what's one area that you think Vern is better at, or something that Vernice is better at?
So what we do is we divide the work, like our departments. I'm more of the creative side, so I'm more of the marketing, the branding, and she's really in the back end. So that's why she's always in Cebu, because our lab is there.
Our lab and our main office is there.
So she's the one who's really doing all the dirty work.
Yeah, that's me. It's not how I look every day when but I do the production side of things.
I think that's how it works also. It's like, okay, this is my side, this is your side, and like we just have
to divide the
like
work.
monthly reports. Okay, what do we do to help each
to help
other?
each other.
And then that's just, I guess, that's the pro of it.
That's the beauty of it.
That's such a nice journey, coming from sisters who weren't friends to life partners. That's such a big change.
Yeah.
And if we talk about journeys of being partners, yours is also a great journey, because you've experienced your own milestones together and you've developed this relationship. Could you tell us about, did it start off like a mentor-mentee sort of situation?
I think when we first met, parang syempre we were still feeling each other out. But I remember from that very first conversation, what I liked was that she was asking me about my goals. It wasn't that she was forcing this standard parang package for a person your age, like ito yung usually kinukuha nila. She really started the conversation with, what are your goals now? Like, where are you in your life right now? What are your goals? And then she also shared a lot about her goals. Like, I remember at that time, 2015, she was just talking about starting a family in terms of like having a baby, and now she has a really tall little boy. And so I think parang we started from that relationship of getting to know each other in terms of what our goals are. And that also helped me trust her a lot more, kasi she was also sharing about her personal journey, how she got into it, ganyan. And I didn't feel intimidated, or I didn't feel forced na ito dapat yung kinukuha mo because you're this age, ito yung dapat iniisip mo. And she asked really good questions that made me think about, what do I want to achieve in 10 years? What do I want to have in 10 years? And that helped me frame my goals in that way. Because as I said earlier, parang I wasn't yet at that mindset of thinking that far along in my life. So that helped, that conversation helped. Parang, oh my gosh, okay, I really need to think about this and be smart about it.
And it must have helped so much, Agnes, no? Looking back, that experience of you sharing your own vulnerabilities, your own plans with Ariane, how did that relationship become a personal one? Because you guys are clearly friends beyond this normal relationship of being a financial advisor.
She's very comfortable to talk to. And then eventually, she also became my teacher and mentor. So we met each other 2015, but it feels like a really long time knowing each other.
I feel like when you asked me earlier when we met, I was like 2012, pero 2015 pala. Because that feels like we've gone through so much in our lives. Now I can't believe it's only been 4 years.
Yes.
And people expect that if, Agnes is the financial advisor, maybe it's always you learning from her. But there are some moments in which you've been the one teaching. Could you tell us more about that?
To give you a background, so when Aryan became an online teacher, an entrepreneur, I enrolled in all the courses. I took her courses, so I really learned a lot from Aryan, from setting braver goals, because she became more clear about setting goals already. And then I also met a lot of like-minded people because of Aryan, and it's a good experience.
She would go to all my classes, to all my events. So a lot of my friends, my students became her friends. So parang wala, you'll never get rid of me. So it's like, wala na.
The connection.
So, talaga, embedded in each
You're
other.
stuck.
Yeah.
Pero happy naman kayo na stuck kayo, so okay lang. Obviously, partnerships come with challenges, right? So as we get older, as we take on new milestones and new steps like business, there are going to be new challenges. So for Vernice and Vern, what are the challenges of running a business with your sister? Because some people are afraid of getting into business with family because it's so personal, and once you're in it, you're in it.
It's funny actually. We have a lot of friends who are always like, I don't want to work with my mom, with my sibling. It's funny, but for us, it's really the opposite. It's like we can't imagine working
I know.
with
That's why.
someone out of our family. Maybe because we were brought up really that way, because our family's really close. So I think we were brought up in a way na, in the end, it's your family who will be there for you.
That's
So, but the challenges that we encountered was, I guess, maybe in that 7 year that we had our vlogging, we never fought. Like we would fight with what?
over petty
Maybe
things like
clothes.
like
Yeah, it's so
why she
petty.
wore what I bought first or something like that. It's really petty, but I guess when it business, because you're not only talking about clothes or like everyday stuff, like you're talking about money, you're talking about your future together. That's when we had all of those fights that we never really used to. Before we would, like, our fights now are just not about, it's really different. Like, I feel like our relationship really got deeper, but of course, in a way, it also got into a level where it's personal, but, and maybe because we're so comfortable with each other and we can be so honest, unlike if you have a business with friends, you can't be so upfront. We get to say things to each other that, of course, would hurt the other at times. But
it's like
I guess it's all part of it,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, it's all part of growth. That's what we learned, that even if we do fight more, we need that push and we need those experiences to really grow as people. So,
How do you handle the finances of your business together?
Okay, it's funny. It's funny. We also learned this throughout the journey. So when it comes to personal,
like, not
Expense.
non-business life.
expenses.
Oh my God, I need
No.
Agnes in my
So it's funny. When it comes to personal expenses, I'm really the type who's stingy. Like I really have to think about if I'm really gonna buy that bag, that shoe. But her on the other side, she's the opposite. I won't say it now, but she's the opposite.
Yeah, it's like retail therapy always.
But when we opened the business, it's funny because since I'm in the marketing, I really want to push for budget. Syempre, like you really have to invest on
budget.
Yeah, for marketing. So I always tell her, "Vern, we need to spend more for marketing." Pero siya, syempre, she's in the back end. She controls all the, kahit 1 peso, she knows all the expense. She's like, Vernice,
We have
reality
to
check.
save. Yeah, or like during our monthly meetings, do you really need that? Like, I'm always like that. So I guess that's what we learned, that it's a total opposite when it came to business. While in real life, I'm just like, wee.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, since you do have very different perspectives, very different personalities, what have you learned from each other about handling your finances?
What did we learn? No,
What
but
did you learn?
seriously though, Bernice really helps me. I guess you could say that she's the Agnes in my life, because like she really helps me. She keeps me in check a lot of times, and what I learned from her is that what you have to really think twice about the things that you want to spend now. Even if I'm older than her, I'm a year older than her, but she keeps me in check that way. And I guess it's vice versa for her. Like, she's so stingy sometimes that sometimes she has to reward herself. That's what I could say. But with business, with financing, you really need to find a balance. Because what I learned, because I would always control the way that the money would run in the business. I learned that you need to spend a little bit to earn something. So that's what.
You need to invest to get your returns.
Yes.
So would you say that, you know, you treat yourself a little bit more now?
Yes, I do. Right?
Yeah.
My hesitation. All right. And for you guys naman, you've obviously built your friendship around your relationship as a financial advisor and a client. What was the best advice that Agnes has ever given you?
Well, she came into my life when romantic. She came into my life
SDE ito.
when
The
my
new camera. So
when-
slow-mo yan.
when my relationship with money was also changing. So it was so helpful to have nga that conversation of more long-term thinking about money. Kasi yun nga I think that was the point when I was becoming a lot more responsible in the way that I was thinking about my money and even just my life goals. And parang I was really pushing myself to think bigger, to aim bigger, and I knew that I had to have that anchor of, okay, I have to get my finances straight so that I have the brain space and I'm not always worried about money. Kasi pag lagi kang worried about money, parang nililimit yung magagawa mo kasi there's always that worry kind of weighing you down. So being able to have that, I think what she told me in the very beginning really stuck with me na, you know, your money goals will be different from everybody else's. Like, you don't have to compare na, bakit yung friend ko, ganito yung sinisave niya, ganito yung pinapasok niya every month, or ganito yung, ganito yung package niya, or whatever. Parang it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing, but you have to ask yourself, what do I want from my life? What for me is valuable? Kasi iba-iba rin yung definition natin what valuable is, what is worth more. What is worth more to her is different than my definition. So being able to ask myself and always go back to that question, what do I want? What is valuable to me is so helpful in so many aspects in life.
So always knowing that your case is your case alone and you're unique. For you, Agnes, having worked with Arian for a very long time, what has that taught you about being a partner to someone?
Oh, Aryan is a perfect partner. No, I can say she's an advocate. Every person she meets, her friends, her students, she always say, alam mo kung nalaman ko lang yan before, nag-start ako ng mas maaga. She's always very generous with everything she discovers, she learns. So I think that's her kind-hearted nature and her teacher.
As in, lagi ko siya introduce, like, if I meet someone and then we get to talking about life, I'm like, I'll introduce you to someone. Like, sinasend yung details ni Agnes. Because, I don't know, like, for me, she's really lalo na if you're just starting, like, she frames the whole beginner's journey very well, so, yeah.
So it's like you're a matchmaker
Yeah.
for Agnes and other people who need advice.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about, like you said earlier, partnerships are partnerships for life. Obviously, you guys are bonded for life, and you guys are set for a future together. Let's talk about how much your life has changed since you first met each other until today. And for you guys, how it's changed since you began your business at the start of your fragrance line to today, and where you want it to go in the future. Let's start with you guys.
Well, when I first started out in 2015, I was still employed with a company. But towards the end of 2015, I quit my job to start my business. And frankly, when I started my business, one of the things that I was worried about was, hala, kaya ko pa bang i-sustain yung monthly, monthly financial commitment ko to Agnes? And that was one of the things that, okay, as long as I can, parang meron akong, kumbaga, like, sinet aside na, okay, I can cover I can cover that for a whole year. That was one of my major considerations. But since then, I've had my business since 2015, and it really surprises me sometimes how I'm just so much more calm about money now. And like for example, this whole year I took a hiatus from my business because I'm working on my book. And sometimes I stop and think, 4 years ago I would not have been able to do this, to just really rely on the things on the money that I've saved, and because I've planned so far ahead that I can completely throw my efforts into writing my book and not really think about money. I feel like that's the biggest thing that has changed with me, yung mindset ko of really planning ahead, being more forward-looking in terms of my goals, and being very responsible about money. I think I've gone through such a big transformation in my relationship with money, in a sense na, like now, I really, kahit small, sometimes to a fault, na sometimes kahit 300 pesos lang yun, pag-iisipan ko, in line ba to sa life goals ko? Kahit 300 pesos na lipstick, parang 3 months na siya nasa cart ko, na parang hindi ko alam, bibilin ka ba? Ganon, kasi because I really I feel like the way I treat my money is the way it reflects on what my priorities in life are. So yun, so medyo natatagalan ako mag-shopping, but in general, I think it's good for me na rin.
Ang trade-off naman, when you have the freedom to do the things that you're doing now, you have the freedom to focus, you have that sense of security that you didn't have all those years ago.
Yeah.
For you, what has the past 4 years, going on 5 years, with Ariane, how has it changed your life?
I've met a lot of amazing people because of Ariane, and a lot of doors has opened as well because of that. There are also a lot of major changes in my life, like having a baby, growing our team, and with Ariane there, I was able to approach more people, and I have learned a lot from her also, from her courses.
And for our sisters, going from bloggers to businesswomen, how has that changed your life?
Like what we said earlier, our relationship really got it was deeper. It's deeper now, and I guess as an individuals, we really grew together and also apart.
Yeah,
like
I guess just like having the business, we drew the line on what the strengths of each other are, and I guess now we know which direction to go to in the future. And I guess having a business, because we've always done things together for like the past 10 years. Now that we have the business, we know that we can be independent as well. So recently we just moved out, even still together, we just recently like let go from our parents. So that was, I think it was the business that gave us that like courage to actually move out, because we knew that because we actually have a business and it runs so smoothly, we can live on our own and not die at the end of the day. So that's the courage that happened to the both of us. So.
Do you think you would have made it this far without your sister as your partner?
no, not at all.
Not at all. Like there are some projects where we do separately, even if it's something that works out at the end of the day. Like I would always think, or we would always say, you know what, it's gonna be so much fun if you were there.
all
It's
the
gonna be
time.
better if you were there.
What about you guys? Do you think you would have reached this point without each other?
Siguro, pero I would probably be in a total financial panic. I'd be here, but parang tingin ko yung bank account ko, parang ganito na lang. But, I always tell my students, I wish I had started early. I started investing earlier, and that's still what I feel now. Like, I wish I had started when I was 21, 22, straight out of college. That's why then, as much as possible, a lot of young women I meet, I try to get them started as early as they could, because it's so helpful to just have that set for you.
How do you go through life having a partner but also maintaining your independence? How do you set that boundary between, okay, we're in this together, but at the same time, I'm also my own person? Who wants to go first?
Yeah, like what we said earlier, I guess we're really different, and my weaknesses are her strengths. So what's nice about is we really just learn from each other. So even if we grow apart, at least we really we know how to
Yeah.
deal with like problems or challenges that like how we face it apart or as
Yeah.
individuals.
But I guess it's easy to be in our own, ourselves also, because I guess we're so different. It's also so hard to be with someone who's so similar or who's like the exact same person as you. But I guess it just worked out for the both of us.
What about you guys? Independence and partnership, how do you balance it?
We're totally different people, I think. Pero I think we jive and we work together so well because I guess core values are the same, even if we express it differently in our lives in terms of the paths that our lives have taken. I feel like the reason it works so well is because the core values are the same pretty much. Yeah.
And we've been talking all this time about how your partner has changed your life. Let's end this discussion by talking about what your dreams are for this partnership moving forward.
Ikaw naman mauna. Grabe to.
I would like to start also by saying I'm very proud of Aryan. I'd like to share that since we met, she has done so much already, like having her own business, being an online teacher. And I've also seen her launch her own podcast, YouTube channel. And this year, we just had a book preview for her book. She will be a published author this year. So I'm very proud of you. I don't have the chance to say. Maybe what's next
For our partnership.
for a partnership? I think you'll be a perfect advocate for me. Perfect advisor if ever.
Sino ni-recruit ako?
No, because you have touched a lot of lives of people. So,
More success. More success.
and everything that you put your mind and heart into, we will support you.
Which is so true. Even without, because sometimes nahihiya na ako to invite her to things because I know she's so busy. But she always texts me, oh, I want to go to your event. I want to go to your book preview. Like, siya mismo yung nagsasabi na she wants to go and support whenever I have events, whenever I have talks, ganun.
What's next for Vivi and Co?
So, well, the big dream is really to have that brand, that a fragrance brand that's known here in locally, and hopefully we are going to make it also internationally in the
That's
future.
like our big dream. And hopefully, like in the next 2 years, I hope we'll have our own stores as well. Hopefully, crossing our fingers. And hopefully, we'll expand to other products as well. That's like the dream is to build a beauty brand because we just don't want to stick to fragrances. That's just the start for us.
It's a big dream, but you guys have a great partnership, and I'm sure you guys are going to make it work. Thank you very much for sharing your stories of partnerships. Once again, we have Arian, Agnes, Bernice, and Vern. And for you watching here, whether you're at home or on the office, you can watch more stories of inspiring, fulfilling partnerships by going to the Sun Life YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/sunlifeph. And you can also check them out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at sunlifeph. Once again, I'm Siege Tantenko. Thank you very much for watching the Rappler Roundtable in partnership with Sun Life Financial. Have yourself a great partnership. No matter who they are, everyone has a perfect partner waiting for them. Have a great day.